The first thing we would like to do is approve the minutes from our September meeting. We made them available in Tech Talk for the last 2 weeks. We would love to entertain a motion to waive the reading of the minutes. Anybody?
Motion to waive.
Second? Thank you. All right, so with that, we're going to approve the minutes from our September meeting, and they will be posted on our website. All right, at this time, we're going to ask our treasurer, Ken, to come up and just go through financials briefly, and then Mr. Newman will be taking questions.
If anyone needs a question card, we have them here. Question cards, we have them here.
Hi, welcome. Hi, I was told if you need a question card for Mr. Newman, please raise your hand. We have a volunteer to hand them out right now. There's one up front, I see.
One or more.
Okay, so I will get started. Again, my name is Ken. I'm the treasurer for this wonderful PA. I just want to talk to you about what happened in September in terms of our money. Our revenue increased by about $26,000, and you can see the breakdown on the slide, mostly coming from our annual appeal, with a little bit from merchandise sale that we had last week. So that brings our total revenues to $29,000, which translates into 7% of our fundraising target. And turning over to expenses, and I just want to take a moment to before I turn to the expenses, I just want to take a moment to thank our donors. No matter what amount you can give, any amount is greatly appreciated. I know someone sitting in here, a lot of you are making recurring donations, so a big thank you to you. And one individual here anonymously donated a large sum to the PA, so I want to give special thanks to that individual, no names, because he was an anonymous donor. So thank you for your support to the PA, and your money will be well spent. I can assure you that. So turning to the expenses, we spent about $38,000, and you can see the breakdown here. The major items are Navions and our support for the diversity initiative for the Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. So with that, brings our total spending to $54,000 for the year. When you net our revenues and expenses, we are in a deficit situation of about 25. And if you recall from our annual budget, we are anticipating an annual deficit of $55,000. So we're halfway there, okay? If there's no further improvement. Anyway, so at the end of the month, we had about $379,000 sitting in our bank, and I just want to convey something special. I was told to get this out to everybody. The fact that you can hear me tonight is thanks to the antique sound system that we have right now. We are about to make an upgrade, and an upgrade in New York City means money, but we're going to pay a portion of it. The Alumni Foundation will also pay a portion of it, and I think the DOE will also pay a portion of it. But we are looking at a 5-digit bill easily. So we can only get things done with the support from you. Just want to get that message out. We would like people to hear me and the rest of the PA team in the future, especially Mr. Newman and Mary. But without the upgrade to the system, this thing can go out any moment, and the drama, not the drama, the musical plays can also be in jeopardy, because we don't know how much longer the sound system can hold. So I'm not a tech guy, but I think that an antique sound system typically does not work well in today's day and age. So that basically wraps up my report. Any questions, comments? If not, I'll turn it back to the two lovely ladies here. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. And before we bring Mr. Newman up, has everyone signed in? Is there anyone who did not sign in before coming to the meeting? Because we have to give out ballots, and at the end of the day, The amount of people that signed in need to match the ballots. So please, if you didn't, right there, Jane, you need to sign in? Thank you. All right, and we're going to bring up Mr. Newman, and right after that, we'll start the election for the freshman reps. If anybody has a question, please hand it to Vito or Craig. We are not going to be taking questions from the floor because we've got a lot to cover tonight with the election. Thank you.
Okay, first and most important and near and dear to my heart, the Yankees losing 2-1 if you didn't know. So that's the state I'm in right now. But to elaborate on what Ken was just saying, you're not hearing me through the sound system. You're hearing me through this little tiny PA right here and these little tiny speakers right here. I have big speakers all up and around this auditorium. They currently don't work. Our sounds, we have a state-of-the-art soundboard. We have state-of-the-art speakers, state-of-the-art lighting system, but the brains of the operation, which has the soundboard speaking to the speakers, is brain dead right now. And so we need new brains. That's the most antiquated equipment, but the most important equipment that lets everything work out. And so we can't have a musical on these two little speakers on a little system like that. So it is a dire sort of situation, and it's something we're hoping to partner with between the school and the foundation and the PA. So we thank you in advance for that, and looking forward to having a great musical coming up in the spring in that regard. So you have some questions. What do you got? Okay, let's do it. I have a question. Can you please explain what the work-based learning program? So many of our majors are CTE-based majors, career and technical education, or engineering majors and majors like that, or they have CTE designations. We have a work-based learning coordinator. Her name is Ms. Chang, and she does many things. She teaches in these majors, but she does many things. But one of them is getting CTE students internships. And then she visits the sites before your children go to the internship. She makes sure it's a good match. It's a safe place to work. She visits them and makes sure everything's okay. But she does everything from visiting the site to letting the students know about the internship, getting them their internship, and then following through and make sure and sort of hold their hand through the whole journey of the internship. So the work-based learning coordinator and program is internships for kids, predominantly in CTE majors. So what are the requirements? So to be you're in one of the CTE majors. What is the deadline to participate and application requirements? So that is very different based on the internship. There are some internships just in the spring. There are some internships that are only in the fall that maybe even last all year. There are even some summer internships. So it depends on which one you're looking at, when the corporation or company or entity or business wants the internship to start. And so it's all like kind of rolling admissions when they need somebody, when we find somebody and we match those people together. Oh yeah, students are informed, but once again, it's only for students in CTE majors, not younger than, it's not for freshmen and sophomores, it's for juniors and seniors in CTE majors, right? And so that's, her position is predicated on students being in CTE majors. Oh yeah, so there's a question about Chinese 4. This actually just came up in SLT. So we have a Spanish 4, just to let you know, and a little bit of insight into this. So you take Spanish 1, 2, 3, and then you want a 4th year of a language. We have adopted in the last couple of years Spanish 4 for students who don't want to take AP Spanish as their 4th year. Many students will do 1, 2, 3, they don't want to take AP, and so if they don't, many students do, but if they don't, they start another language. Like you might do Spanish 1, 2, 3, and then senior year do Italian 1, right? Just expand, diversify your world languages. So the question is, can I open up a Chinese 4? Obviously, for students who do 1, 2, 3, don't want to go into AP Chinese, we surely can consider that. and they're talking about how it's a huge jump from Chinese 3 to AP Chinese, and clearly they don't want to do it, but they want to continue with Chinese. So we can entertain the possibility of a Chinese 4 next year, sure. My son is currently a junior. Is he automatically enrolled in Naviance? Does he already have an account? Has he get the password? The kid should have an account, so should you, the parents. So if you don't have a password, you need to reach out. It might just be they had an access code and it needs to be reset or something like that, but they should absolutely have access. If they don't, please reach out to our assistant principal of the college office. That's Loris Cuesta, L-Cuesta, at schools with an S at the end at nyc.gov.
Wait a second, I want to add to that.
You go for it.
All parents should have gotten a form that says if you don't have access to Naviance, and fill this form out. Everyone get that?
Last week, that form should have been
Last
sent
week.
out to all parents
Okay,
in the
so
school.
keep looking for that, and your kid just have to look through their mailbox for their registration.
And Mary, how long does that form
Thank
take
you.
to take the process around?
The form is for the parents.
I mean, yeah, if you hold the phone, so when we're going to get the code.
I do not know.
What'd she ask me?
When they're gonna get the code after the form.
Oh yeah, we're still collating. People every day are signing up for there, so just give it a little time, and then we have to create codes for each person and then send them out. But that's for all parents, even 9th grade parents. Okay, I mentioned that it's very important to make friends, but my child is not allowed to sit with her friends in any of her classes. They sit in alphabetical order. I disagree with that. Okay, so yes, it's important to make friends. I could see, look, I don't want to minimize it to this, but clearly the teacher is arranging kids alphabetically because that's the order they are on their attendance sheet, and therefore if 13th seat is missing, 13th kid is missing, and it's quicker to do a few things from a teacher perspective. It's actually quicker to learn names and something vital in the beginning of the year for educators, and it's quicker to do attendance. Every second you do attendance, you're not teaching kids. So it's for those reasons that they set it up that way. To push back a little bit on this notion, I don't know if it's so important to sit with your friends in class. There's not that much social interaction on some level that should be happening in class, to be honest with you. And even friends that sit together in class find that they're not being so socially interactive or so friendly during class when you're doing physics or whatever. I mean, it's nice to have a friend to work on math problems with, right? But it's also nice to work on math problems with somebody who's not your friend and to make new friends, right? So I don't know, making friends in class is important because to find out if you didn't catch the homework, what it is, or what you obviously can find online. But you know, just if you miss notes or part of the notes, just to be able to like get something you missed and whatnot. But I would say most social interactions happen in other spaces other than during class. I think that sort of makes sense. Okay. There are concerns about physics teachers. My child says that her teacher goes over material too fast and moves on to the next table even before the test. Oh, topic even before the test. Physics compass subway students need more review time, and there's not any. I mean, I need more perspective on this. I don't know if this is about teachers in general or just your kid's physics teacher. I will say, I was just talking about this just outside, that pace of things are quick, right? They're quick here. There's a lot of material you want to learn. I mean, I'm not saying speed and rigor go hand in hand, but sometimes they do, right? But a teacher should be able to read the room and assess where students are understanding. There's easy ways to do that. I mean, I don't know if, it's, how do I say this? like standing in front of a classroom, I'm standing in front of you right now. I'm looking at all of you. You're looking at just me. I'm looking at all of you. I know who is not paying attention. Just from your eyes, you could be staring right at me, and I know if you're not paying attention, right? I could see who's on the phone. I can see whatever, right? And so I'm not trying to shame anyone. Get off your phone. I'm just kidding. There's no one. I was just pointing to Vito. He's not on his phone. And so, well, he is. He's recording the whole thing. And so, so I will say that, like, it's not. This is, you know, part of an educator's superpower. You're standing in front of 34 kids. You know when somebody's hungry. You know when somebody's in despair. You know when somebody gets what you're talking about. Well, you know when somebody doesn't without them even speaking to you, just by reading facial cues and whatnot. This is what we do, right? And so it's a little alarming for me as an educator to hear that even though the pace is supposed to be by design, a voracious pace or whatever, but that teachers are reading the cues that everybody doesn't get, or they're not doing some type of quick assessment to see that, does everybody understand what I'm talking about before moving to the next thing? These are simple, you know, things that teachers do. And so if this is not happening, I would like to think that this is maybe localized and I don't know, to a teacher or whatnot. So in issues like this, just reach out. So reach out to, first of all, the assistant principal of that department is Mr. Evangelist. You could reach out to him directly, or you could reach out to me, and I'll just send it to Mr. Evangelist. Either way. And so we'll sort of get on top of it. We need a little bit more specifics. Who are we talking about here? I know you're not talking about all 20 of my physics teachers. So, and just, you know, if there needs to be some supports for that teacher, we need to know who, so we can get them these supports. Okay. Tutoring. We tried twice to join the link for tutoring and not able to join. The link, so that's an interesting thing. The Zuma teacher, if you're talking about a link, the Zuma teacher, which happens virtually online, hasn't started yet. So maybe that's why the link doesn't work. Maybe you're getting a link off, I would imagine you're getting a link off the website for the tutoring that occurred last year. And so I don't think Zuma, was it? It's in daily. Oh, I take that back. So Zuma teacher started? Yeah, I don't think Zuma teacher started because I think we're still identifying which teacher is going to do it. So you're saying there's links in the daily announcements to like physics tutoring? All right, I'll look into that. I just don't think it started yet. So I'll follow up with that tomorrow. And if it did start, I'll make sure everybody has good links. But I don't think it started yet. And then I'm going. Number 4, where should students go during free period? The auditorium is being used and the library is closed or full. So these are rare occasions, like the library, so just so you know, there are kids scattered throughout the auditorium throughout the day, and they just don't feel like going to the cafeteria. On a free period, you should go to the cafeteria, right? They don't feel like going to the cafeteria, they don't want to socially interact with anyone, they want to do their homework, they want to watch a video on their phone, they want to just do whatever they want to do. So it is very likely throughout the entire day to see students scattered all throughout this ground floor. Not even sitting 2 in a pair, just scattered all over the place. So we would prefer that instead of like sitting in the hallway on the floor, just because I don't need you sitting on the floor. But I don't mind if you really want to sit on the floor in the hallway. And so there's that if you're quietly, you know, whatever, right? But I'd rather you do it in here. The library is usually open. It does fill up sometimes. As you may know, something about our library, if you go visit it, this school, this auditorium was built for 3,000 people. And so the first principal who helped design the school, and Brooklyn Tech was his idea, Dr. Colston, so he would have every Wednesday and every Tuesday, he would have half of the students in here. He'd have weekly assemblies, and he'd talk to the students, and it was designed for half the school, 3,000 kids, right? And so, so a lot of things were built for the size of the school. The library, not so much. I mean, maybe in a great day, I could fit like 220 kids in the library. And that's with basically getting, which we've done over the years, getting all the books out of the way. So the books are in stacks now. You go to the library, there's not so many books, they flank the walls or whatever, just a small library. So it closes not for any other reason besides it happens to be a small library. But anyway, the auditorium's good. The auditorium is hardly ever closed during the day. We normally don't use it. So the auditorium there, or simply the lunchroom, right? So plenty of places to go. And for seniors, by the way, there is the Senior Student Union downstairs in BS12, which has like ping pong tables, pool tables, and foosball, and all sorts of fun things for seniors. Is there a list of clubs that already began? I think clubs are just, we haven't even had the club fair yet.
They
So
should have a list online.
say that, please.
There's a list of clubs that have started.
The list of clubs and stores online, Mary says.
Unofficial meetings.
Got it. Unofficial meetings. The club fair is what, in 2 weeks, right?
Club fairs, November 12th, 13th.
Oh, November 12th. Wow, that's late. Okay, but after that, all the clubs will ramp up. Is there a list of volunteer positions available at Brooklyn Tech? I don't know what you mean by volunteer positions. Like volunteer to do what? I don't know. That person's in here. They could tell me in a second. Does tutoring another student from a different school count as volunteering? I don't know. How do we verify that? I don't know. We could figure that out. And so this is something to talk to our COSA, our lead COSA, Ms. Massey, about. It would have to be something that we could verify. I mean, I don't think she would mind, but it would have to be something we could verify. Maybe if you're doing it informally, I would say no. If you're doing it in a more formal setting, that somebody at the other school is aware of it and get verified, I think that's different. I'll keep going. All right, last one. It's more about alphabetical seating. Oh, it's the same. It's the same parent.
No, with the kids, their last name, they can sit in the back. That's not
Oh, kids. Are kids with last names starting Z always in the back of the class while A's are always in the front? No, I mean, it's not, well, I'll say a couple things, right? And so they probably do start with A and then they funnel through, and you never know when the row is going to end. It might end at like B, and then you never know where the row is going to start and end. But I would say in the system, Z is always going to be in the back. But that's not most of our classrooms are not set up in rows. So that's one thing, right? Most classrooms are set up in what we call a horseshoe, right? So there's 2 rows that go all around the perimeter of the room, leaving the middle empty space. Chairs could easily be moved for kids to converse with their peers, and also the middle of the room is where the teacher ruminates to get very close to the kids. And so they work their way around the horseshoe. So it's very rare to see desks in rows, teacher absolutely in the front, and there's no room for the teacher to move back, right? Usually you flank the walls, and then the teacher ruminates around. In other rooms, math rooms, there was all math rooms that the desks are in 4s, clusters of 4 kids, and they're all spread out, and the teacher is just bouncing all over the place. But even if somehow it's in rows and you're Z and you're in the back, like all you have to do, I know it's tough for some kids, whatever. Like I can't see in the back, and then they're just going to move you in the front. And so there's plenty of kids, as you can imagine, who are in the front that would rather be in the back, and vice versa, right? And so that's surely not a problem. I mean, that happens in every class all the time in the beginning. Kids get their seat, and they're like, I can't see that well, I can't hear that well, I can't whatever, and then instantly it just moves around. So I don't think that's an issue. But students do have to let the teacher know and advocate for themselves a little bit. That's it? Okay, I'm not taking any questions from the floor. Done? That's it? All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I was just going to give you, they're still losing 2-1. They're still losing 2-1.
I have a question.
No questions.
Thank you, Mr. Newman, and go Yankees. All right, let us move us along there. And hold on a second. Move slightly. We are going to start
Everybody could vote.
the election for freshman rep, and we do have a parent that is running for freshman rep that does need to leave. Can you raise your hand?
You need a ballot.
We were going to do this in alphabetical order, but since she has to leave, we'd like to give her a chance to speak. Or did she already leave? Okay. Perhaps she did. All right. We're going to ask all of our candidates to limit your speech to 2 minutes. We will time it, so we're going to ask, we will stop you if you go over 2 minutes, just to make it fair. So our first candidate is Zhu Fen Chen. Are you here? Oh, there she is. Welcome. Microphone, let's make sure it's working for you right there.
Hi, my name is Xuewen Chen. My son is a freshman. I'm grateful for the support when I receive from the other parents volunteer. I would like to contribute and help the other parents as well. Thank you.
All right, next is Trisha. Did Trisha leave? Okay, so we're going to read Trisha's bio for her. It's Trisha Forrest. And while we're going through this, they are handing out ballots to everyone right now. And again, could you please raise your hand if you did not sign in? We need to have you sign in before you vote. Everybody signed in. Great. Oh, right there. Vito? Vito? Right there. Needs to sign in. All right, Trisha Forrest. As a parent, I am motivated to be of service to any community that embraces and supports my child. As an individual, I believe we have a moral obligation to serve our community and society at large in any capacity we can. It is at the heart of both my personal and professional lives. I work in an industry that serves community-based service organizations and schools and volunteer my time and services as much as I can to organizations actively working to serve people in meaningful and impactful ways. I've served on the PTA for one of my son's elementary school as both treasurer and VP, and was a regular volunteer for his middle school PTA as well. I would like to be of service here at BTHS as well as in whatever capacity needed. All right, next we have Kathy Hun.
Kathy left, but she gave me her statement to read, so you could read it, or
Go
I could
right
read it.
ahead. They're sick of hearing me. Please go ahead, Craig.
Okay, so Kathy actually did arrive here at 5:30. She stayed for an hour but had to go because she was doing something involving her college alumni association. I will read her statement. Please use your imagination and imagine it's Kathy Hahn speaking to you instead of me. As a passionate advocate for inclusive education and sustainable futures, I am excited to bring my interdisciplinary experience to the Brooklyn Tech PA Executive Board. My career spans management consulting, technology startups, and nonprofit leadership, where I have helped global organizations like Deloitte Consulting and higher ed institutions like UC Berkeley and Asia Pacific SDG Higher Education Alliance transform their digital innovation and sustainability development into meaningful outcomes. I have had over 15 years of board experience for a variety of cross-cultural education-focused nonprofit organizations. Currently, I serve as UC Berkeley's Cal for All host, DEI-BJ Alumni Leadership Council founder, and Cal Alumni Board of New York's board secretary to help develop future-forward leadership and foster community-driven solutions. There's more. With my experience as a Berkeley, Columbia, London School of Economics alumni, and as a mom navigating the complexities of parenthood, I am deeply committed to holistic wellness and equitable opportunities for our children. As a PA freshman representative, I aim to champion initiatives that promote inclusive development, sustainable growth, and community empowerment, ensuring every BK Tech student thrives. Together, we can create a collaborative environment that enriches our children's education and supports families on their journey toward a brighter future. There you go.
Thanks, Craig. All right, and next up, we have Sandy Lee. Sandy, is it Sandy Shui? I apologize for my pronunciation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sandy. I'm very happy to be here today as one of the candidates. I'm asking for an opportunity to work together for the success and growth of our students. I'm a hard-working mom, like many of you. Everything we do is for our children. Nobody knows what would be best for them than us. As a mom, I strongly believe that parent participation will make the school better for our children. This is why I'm here today, and I'm ready to serve in this school community. Thank you.
Next is Jason Miller.
Hi, everybody. I didn't prepare a speech, so I'm going to talk off the cuff. Again, my daughter Caitlin is a 9th grader here. I am a 3rd-generation Brooklynite to immigrant grandparents. My parents were New York City public school teachers for about 70 to 80 years combined between the two of them. My mother finally retired in 2019. One of my earlier memories is sitting around the table watching my parents do their lesson plans on Sunday nights. So I've been fascinated by education ever since. I am a retired lawyer working as a civil servant. Through my day job, I do a lot of work with children on IEPs and 504s. I was on a 504 myself back in the day when I was a student. My daughter's very happy to be here, and I'm very excited to join the community. Thank you very much.
Next is Joseph Nadej.
Hi, you have my name backward. It's actually Nadej Joseph. Hi, everybody.
Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. It happens all the time. So my name is Nadej. I'm thrilled to be here, be part of the Brooklyn Tech family. A little bit about myself. I've enjoyed being involved with my son's PTA for the past 9 years. I've held board
I'm
roles.
sorry to interrupt. Do you think you could just a little bit louder so they can hear you? I'm not sure everybody can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I was saying that I've enjoyed being part of my son's, PTAs and PAs for the last 9 years. I've held board roles and I've volunteered, assisted at events. I've served on the SLT for the past 8 years. And the journey has given me a lot of informative insight into how the schools operate and building relationships, and I've enjoyed it a lot. And I'd like to continue the journey with the BT family. And my experience, I've done event planning, project management for the past 20 years at my jobs, and I'm really looking forward to helping the PA with all of our endeavors, activities, however I can help, I'm willing. Thank you so much.
Next is Nick Napoli.
Good evening. Did everyone hear me in the back? Okay, just in the spring, I was visiting Brooklyn Tech with my son Charles, who's now a freshman here, and we went to the robotics lab. This was the evening for admitted students. And what I noticed was, all of a sudden, instantly, the students Charles had some questions for the students, and then some students were teaching Charles telling him about what they were doing with physics, all the quantitative tools they needed. And I was noticing the teachers were just sitting back, just supervising. And I thought, okay, this is the way an educational community is supposed to work. Students are teaching other students, they're teaching teachers, they're teaching parents. I'm asking questions, they're asking questions. And I thought that's a very special thing, and I haven't really seen it anywhere else. I thought it was quite unique. And so that's kind of what I see as the PA's mission. That's something that's going to continue to grow, and I see my role as helping nurture that. And so certainly I'm an architect by profession, but I'm also an educator, so I'm very mindful of the passion and the dedication that teachers need to bring to the class every day, every year. And certainly I have experience as a volunteer for annual giving campaigns, so I'm used to picking up the phone. And then with PTAs, with my sons in elementary school, I've been baking pies, doing little structures, demonstrations as well. So I'm willing to put all those skills to work here, and I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you so much.
Next, we have Michelle Senon-Britton.
Good night, everybody. I'm not going to read my bio because I'm sure you've been keeping up with the tech newsletter and you've already read it. So I'm just going to give some highlights of myself. Okay, so I have a firm belief that active parent involvement results in quality education for all students. And so I practice what I preach. So ever since my daughter was in pre-K, all her teachers knew me. My daughter doesn't want them to know me, but even now, if I were to tell her, yeah, I was at this meeting, I didn't tell her I'm coming here. I was at this meeting and I'm actually running to be on the board of the PD. She would not like it, so I didn't tell her. So it'll be a shock. I've always been actively involved in her education, and as a result, I can see that she does flourish under that. And I know that for high school, parents kind of let go. As you can see in this meeting, lots of parents were here for the first meeting in September. They wanted to know what's going on at this new high school, and now lots of them have fallen off. So I think that you should commend yourselves and continue being involved throughout high school because it actually has good results for your children. Last thing, I'm willing to work with anyone, and I'm fairly easygoing. I said that I had 3 words that describe me. I'm very organized. I'm flexible. And what's the other one? I'm proactive. So that's it.
Next is Lily Tang. Lily, are you here? She had said she may not be able to make it. All right, so I'll go ahead and read it. I'm writing to express my interest in the freshman parent members at large and to work collaboratively in enriching the Brooklyn Tech High School community. I'm a parent of a freshman and I have 2 children in college, both graduates of specialized high schools. For many years, I've been involved in the elementary school PTA as a secretary treasurer, vice president, and as the president. In addition to serving the PTA, I have been a part of the elementary and middle SLT school leadership teams. I believe parent involvement is one of the key contributors to a successful learning environment. Thank you for your consideration, and I look forward to contributing and supporting the Brooklyn Tech community. And finally, we have Danica White.
Saving the best for last, right? No, I'm joking. Good evening, everyone. My name is Danica White. I was gonna read, but I get nervous sometimes. So my daughter's name is Madison. I remember growing up in New York City public school system, especially my junior high school. I went to 113. It was not just a place with higher education, but a place that I loved going to because of the different activities and events that we hosted at this, our teachers and staff hosted at the school, and the parents' involvement. So the reason why I'm here is because from the time, I'm a pretty young mom. I had my daughter when I was 20. That's neither here or there, but as a single mom, I'm always involved as a support system in anything my daughter does, whether it was in pre-K doing story time with her classmates, whether it was her in Girl Scouts, whether it was her participating in fundraisers for her dance school. She went to Asasea, which is located in Bedford-Stuyvesant. I've always knew I wanted to be heavily involved with my daughter because I wanted to end the circle from, not saying that my mom wasn't involved in my education and upbringing, but I just wanted to make sure that I was always there, because at the end of the day, you know, our kids are going to remember who was there for them and who wasn't. Even though, like, my daughter started her education in charter school, I'm willing to continue my contributions and perspectives to her school, whether it was helping organize for bake sales, potluck dinners, and raffles that contributed to help raise money for trips or different activities within her school. I'm also compassionate not only about the success of my daughter, but the success of every child here at Brooklyn Tech. I would like to bring my experiences and passion for educational excellence to ensure that all students have the opportunities that they deserve. My current and past experiences are two businesses/organizations. One is Catering Geeks, which is a private catering company where we host brunches and lunches for all ages, and also Rich's Way, which is a nonprofit organization where we host different activities and events for adults and children.
Danica, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to cut you off. We're at 2 minutes. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm just happy to be here, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, everyone. I remember doing this, and this is tough to get up there and talk to all of you. So thank you very much. Does everybody have a ballot? Does anyone not have a ballot? Please raise your hand. We're going to give you a couple of minutes to make your selections. Please select. We have 5 positions. If you check 6, we will disqualify your ballot. So please be very careful that you vote only for 5 people. We will collect them in a couple of minutes, and then we will be tallying them in this room. Anyone here is welcome to watch us. In fact, we encourage a couple of people that are not on the board to come just to make sure that you feel comfortable with our tally. And then while we are doing that, we're going to have our committees do some of their updates so that we don't keep you here any longer than we have to. And once we're done, we will announce the winners. So go ahead, take a couple minutes. I'm going to vote myself. Thanks.
Anybody done? Remember to vote next one as well.
Oh, got it.
Yes.
Yeah, got it. Okay. No, I'm not gonna call you that. Call you young. I'm not gonna call you old.
Time. Leslie, are you and Naeem ready to talk a little bit about fundraising? And I think Mr. Newman, he already touched on the sound system here, and I don't know if any of you have children in chorus or band. Not just the musical will be affected, it's everything. Our holiday concerts, if it suddenly goes. So my daughter's in band, my boys were in band, my son was in the musical. There's so many things that are affected. The talent show, so many things. So as we're gonna give you more information as we get it. This just happened this week that they came and diagnosed the problems. So please start thinking about donating. Thanks. Go ahead, Naeem, you wanna come up?
I'll do it from here. Leslie had to leave, so hi, everyone. Anyone wants to observe the...
Can we get a couple of parents to just listen from back there so they can, just so we have a couple people observe? We just feel better.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Naeem Siddiq, I'm a co-vice president of fundraising, along with Leslie. We have a couple of things we're working on. One of the things we're working on is a merch line for parents. So we have stuff for kids, so we're trying to get merchandise for parents. We're working on that. Also working on a website. Some schools and other colleges obviously have a website where you can buy things, so that's on the docket. We're working on that. And we're trying to set a date for our gala. We have a spring gala. We're trying to find a venue first so we can set a date. We already know the Asian New Year gala is on February 7th, right? So that's going to be our one coming up next, and then the spring one. And we want people to donate. Obviously, the school needs funds that the Board of Ed doesn't give us, so we have the annual drive. So if you haven't given yet, make sure you give for your students. Thank you.
All right, next, could we hear from our Diversity and Community Engagement Committee?
So sorry. Hi, my name is Cheryl May. So me and Iris Chen, we are the VP of Diversity and Engagement, Community Engagement. So we are planning an event, the Lunar New Year celebration, which to be held next year, February 7th. So we are going to finalize the menu and the venue on the coming weekend. So, and next week we are going to announce the, just to ask all students to join the t-shirt logo design. This is from last year. You see that there's from a sophomore. So you can, the winner can win up 2 tickets, up to $220 value. So please encourage your child to participate. So, and we are planning to get involved by students and parents. Parents, can we? Can we get involved by parents too? The winner. Okay, we can talk about that. All right. And I'm not sure how many of you been to the event last year. Like many? Yep. Okay. So hope to see you guys soon. And also we are recruiting the parents who has and students who have talent. Like if you're good in dancing, singing. So. Yeah, we need you. So we are going to announce in TED Talk. Please stand by and, keep an eye on it. Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. And when everybody was first coming in, we showed the video of the May Gala. Perhaps our next meeting is virtual, but we could still, if you've got a slideshow or something you'd like as a video, we can put that up at our November meeting so you can see. We had 500 people. Last year. It's a lot of fun. People buy tables, and we hope that you consider attending both that and our May Gala, because they were both a great deal of fun and a source of revenue for us. All right, do we have anybody from events and volunteers? All right, maybe they're helping put away stuff in the closet. I don't know if I'm sure you all read Tech Talk from top to bottom, but we announced that Mr. Newman does this every year, and it's really a wonderful thing. He does breakfasts and dinners on selected dates with parents, and we have about approximately 25 people that come to each. And tomorrow is our first breakfast. Are any of you attending tomorrow? I will see you there. No, it's in the conference room. Oh, they will direct you. 1E20? Marion, so it's 1E20? So they'll direct you. Security will direct you when you arrive tomorrow. And so we'll have a nice breakfast, and Mr. Newman takes questions. And you do learn a lot. I mean, he answers whatever. He's always very good about coming to our meetings. But this is where you can actually ask questions that pertain maybe more to your child than in the general meeting. So, well, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And do we still have slots available?
That's not really true. If you have questions about your child directly, you can address them afterwards or ask the teachers. This is really for something that can help you and everyone else, not like my teacher is flunking my kid, but thanks.
I stand corrected, but we know those questions are still coming. I'm sorry, do you have a question? If you signed up, do you get are you asking, do you get a confirmation if you signed up for this, or? I'm sorry, because I can't hear you. Do you get, I'll let Tiffany answer that.
If you signed up, that's your day, because it cuts off. The seats are limited, so when a day gets full, then it's not an option. So if you signed up, then that's your day. Whatever you signed up, you should show up, and we can ask the events and volunteers maybe to send a confirmation, but so far, if you were able to sign up and submit the form, then you were selected, pretty much.
Enjoy. It's a really nice event. That it's very nice of him to take time and do this. So we do it through. Is it through November? Through December. So if you haven't signed up and you're interested, please do so because they fill up quickly. All right. Communications. Does anyone from communications have any updates that you'd like to give? Any? All right. So we're moving along quite nicely.
SLT, did you want?
And then, so we're going to go to SLT is next.
Hello, I'm Vito Labella. I'm as well as the recording secretary. I'm on the SLT school leadership team with Tiffany and Naeem and several other parents, and they drafted me to do that. Do this update, something we want to do every month. So the school leadership team is kind of like an advisory committee made up of students, parents, admin staff, and teachers. So we all get together and we kind of act like a conference for Mr. Newman to look at all different things from different perspectives. And today he went on how much a lot of principals, some principals, and we won't say how many, they treat it as kind of like an obligation. He actually really takes it to heart and enjoys it and actually listens to us when we bring problems or perspectives to him. So it's a very good place to be, so shout out to him. The two main goals of the SLT are the CEP, which is the Comprehensive Education Plan, and the budget, and how the budget is supposed to align to the school's goals. So a lot of it, there's also a lot of other stuff that we always touch upon. We touched upon the sound system, of course, and well, that's legit because that's part of the budget. So yes, please, we're going to do separate fundraising for that. We agreed today that the school is going to do a third, we're going to do the third PTA, and then we're going to hit up hopefully the Alumni Association for the last third. So the thing with the CEP, there's 5 goals for this year. I won't go through all of them. I'm just going to hit 2. And every kid has SEL every day or every year. And it was kind of nebulous in years past. Some teachers were making it a free period. There wasn't really a set curriculum. So last year we tried to decide on some structure. I'm sorry.
What's SEL? Not everyone.
What's that social emotional? Yeah, social emotional learning. And so we decided last year that freshmen would be the focus of their SEL would be adjusting to Brooklyn Tech High School, and that's very, very big for freshmen. We made a lot of suggestions, and I wanted to follow up. So freshmen, when they come in, because it's overwhelming depending on the size of the school that you may have come from, actually for everybody. But I tell parents, if your kid's overwhelmed here coming to Brooklyn Tech, those adjustment freshman year for college, that's going to be so simple because Brooklyn Tech is as large as a lot of colleges, right? So what they're making their college adjustment right here freshman year.
You should have told that to the parents who were here last night. I got feedback from some of my friends and they were shell-shocked.
Yes, I do tell that to parents as much chance as I get. But it's an adjustment, right? And so we're going to focus on executive and time management for our children, as well as kind of emotional grounding so that they don't get overwhelmed, and tools that they can, tolerate all of this hugeness and all of this homework and all of these new responsibilities. And so I don't know if people are aware, last year we had a tragedy at Tech. We lost a freshman girl to fentanyl poisoning. So I'm a retired police lieutenant, so it's very big with me, and Ms. Cuesta did, in response to that tragedy last year, they did auditoriums full of presentations for every single kid in the school. So what we would like to do this year is focus on the freshmen, right? So when the freshmen come in, they get this training, the first thing, and of course it's all about this usual health stuff that we always go through, but specifically the dangers of fentanyl. Do not get your drugs from the street because you never know. Fentanyl poisoning is a super killer of children. It can happen to anybody. Also, they're going to really, in small groups, they're going to talk about these issues in these small SEL classes, which I think is really big for these kids who may be overwhelmed and may get involved in stuff because they're having adjustment issues. And also, parents have expressed interest in Narcan training, so that'll be a separate thing that we're going to provide for parents going forward as well. So the other thing, the big thing is college and career readiness, and there was a proposal last year about a 10% cap at SUNY and CUNY schools. I don't know if anybody hear that in the news. It was kind of like, they really didn't explain it very well. Well, the good news is there's 2 tracks. There's a 10% program where kids can, if you're in the top 10%, you could get accepted automatically without having to put in a resume or transcripts or SAT scores. So that's great. But I was very excited about is that doesn't preclude any child from also applying for the SUNY or CUNY of their choice. And we were worried that this 10% thing would be capping 10% of children from every school, and for our school that would be really disastrous because we send a lot of kids to CUNYs and SUNYs, so that is not the case. There was no specific cap for schools, so we were very glad to hear that, and we're always keeping our eyes and ears open for things that could negatively impact our children. So that was it, except for the budget, and I think that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions about, go ahead.
2 questions.
Yep.
Narcan training.
Yep.
I missed the previous one. Would this be open to all parents of all grade or
Yes.
just freshmen?
Yes.
Okay. And then the 10% cap, is that for the SUNY, for the different colleges? Or is that for all 64 colleges within the
So there is no school cap, there is no bigger cap. However many kids want to apply to Binghamton can apply, and they're not going to say, well, we have too many Brooklyn Tech kids, you're out. No, whatever the metric is they use. I don't know if they don't look at that, surreptitiously or not, but.
And that applies for all 64 colleges?
Correct.
Within their system?
From my understanding, yes.
Thank you.
How does it work though if like a top 10% student applies to, let's say, a really popular school like Stony Brook, and then another kid applies who's not in the like top 10%?
So the top 10% is an automatic kind of thing.
So they automatically get into whatever college is their
they
first
choose,
choice.
right? But
Okay.
separately, other kids can apply as well.
That means, like for the all other non-10%, top 10%, they also have a slightly lower chance because 10% has been.
So what you're saying is they've removed
Yes.
10% of the seats. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not as bad as it could have been.
Slightly affected, but better than,
It could have
the
been,
rest,
yeah.
90% out.
Yeah.
And how do they know the percentage? Because I was under the impression that Brooklyn Tech does not rank the students.
We don't. I don't know. They don't publicly rank them. I don't know. I don't know if there's an unofficial.
She said they were going to let them know. They would, if they were applying through the 10%, they would know that they were. The administration knows that they're in the top 10% and helps with that process.
Great. That's Karen Solomon. She's on the SLT with me.
Can you repeat that again?
The guidance counselors and staff at Brooklyn Tech who are helping students apply, they know who's in the top 10%, so they know who is eligible to apply to that 10% program.
And they'll let them know. Did I miss anything else, Karen?
No, you're spot on.
And that's 10% as of what?
As of end of junior year.
End of junior year.
Okay.
I learned a lot today. At the meeting.
Thank you.
The SEL program, is that a weekly thing where the kids can?
It's twice a week, Tiff? SEL?
It's twice during the time period rotation, so once a week. And it's during the lab and gym rotation for advisory.
Do the kids know when that happens?
Okay, so it happens during the advisory periods. The freshmen and seniors have advisory in the fall, and sophomores and juniors have advisory in the spring. They get advisory twice during that 10-period rotation, so it's once a week. It happens when they don't have gym or science lab, and if you have a sophomore or junior, they may have a free period that's going to be filled with advisory in the spring. So they go to their advisory class, and the instructor does the, whatever it is, whether it's SDL related, sometimes for the upperclassmen, they'll do stuff with college. But one of the things that we did with SLT was try to, what we found was different advisory classes were just doing different things, and it was very randomized, so we tried to unify it, so there's a kind of like a uniform curriculum, so to speak, with advisory, and that it is focused on, the things that are important to our students.
So you have a question, ask a Brooklyn Tech grad. See, they're at a whole different level.
I actually have a question about the PSAT that's taking place next Saturday, the 26th. So that test will start, I think they have to report here at 8:15 a.m. And the test will be taken.
I don't know the times off the top of my head, but every junior who's taken the PSAT should have received a ticket that says their time and their location.
And I don't remember the location. Is it at the school or how?
It's at the PSAT for the juniors is at the school.
It's at the school. I mean, we'll go back and double check.
Yes, but if a student registers for the SAT outside of when Brooklyn Tech gives it, they're responsible for, showing up to that location. But the one given through the school is at the school.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's it. All right, guys, thank you very much.
Just in time.
Looks like they are done counting votes, so just give us about 2 minutes. Thank you. It's volunteers, so please, just don't walk away if you weren't elected this evening. We would welcome you as part of the PA.
See you tomorrow morning.
All right, I'm gonna go in alphabetical order here. Just make sure I've got the right ones. Here's Tiffany. All right, Sandy Lee. Jason Miller. Nadez Joseph. Nick Napoli. And Lily Tang. Congratulations to all of you. Mary, do you need anything from our new representatives?
Yes, I need you to come up here and fill out a form for me.
All right, so could Lily isn't here, so Mary, I can probably get that. I can probably email her. But for our freshman reps that are newly elected, can you please come down and see Mary? All right, everyone, thank you so much for coming. We just want to make sure you know that the November meeting is on a Wednesday, November 20th at 6 o'clock, but it will be virtual. So we'll be sending you the Zoom information as it gets closer to the meeting. We are set to adjourn. Could I get,
Ms. Lourdes Cuesta will be at that meeting virtually. The college AP, college services.
And we'll make sure that we send reminders about the agenda for the meeting as we get a little bit closer. Could I get a motion to adjourn? And a second? Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around, and congratulations to our new freshman reps.